Hey everyone, and welcome to my review on the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now this is the Edge variant of Samsung's new flagship phone. So before we jump into the review, let's just go over the phone specifications for you. So again, just like on the regular Galaxy S6, we've got a 5.1-inch screen with a resolution of 1440 by 2560, 3 gigs of RAM, an octa-core processor with 1.5 GHz on one half of it, and then the other half is 2.1 GHz. 3 gigs RAM and 3 storage options available: 32, 64, and 128 gig. A Gorilla Glass 4 on the front and on the back, 16 megapixel shooter on the back, and a 5 megapixel up front. Any other real differential on it, other than the edge screening, is the size of the battery. This one is slightly bigger than the Galaxy S6. So we're at 2,600 milliamp hours versus 2,550. Not a massive amount, but it makes a difference since I've got the lovely edge screen on this one, of course. So to start off with the phone, really, we'll just go around the hardware tour, really. So of course you've got the edge screen on left and right. Only one portion of the screen can be used at any given time at the moment, so that's something that's could possibly be changed in the future. Of course, at the moment, as you can see, I've got the night clock mode on it. It would usually display notifications as well, but I've got no feeds connected onto it, so I haven't got Twitter or anything else like that connected onto it at the moment. At the bottom, we've got a headphone jack, so 3.5mm headphone jack, micro USB charging port, microphone, speaker. Right inside, you've got the power button. Top, you've got another microphone, IR blaster, and SIM card tray. Left hand side, you've got your volume rockers as well. And on the back, of course, we've got heart rate monitor, you've got the 16 megapixel shooter, and again, lovely Gorilla Glass backing. So the phone looks absolutely fantastic, and just overall feeling it in the hand, I originally didn't like the feel of it when I originally tried it out, but it's gradually started to grow on me. The only time I start to find it a bit iffy is when you're trying to take a photo or if you're watching a film on it, because it just, well, to me, it just doesn't feel very natural to hold it like that. But, well, just to hold this phone even, sorry. Since you don't really have the same area that you might normally have to grip on another, well, on a regular phone with no edge screen. But other than that, that's my only real gripe with it, really. The edge screen can be slightly useful, so of course you've got your contacts section that you can pull out from the right hand side. That will show you pretty much every one of your main contacts that might be calling you. When the phone's face down, of course, it's supposed to be designed so that you'll be able to see each one of these individual colours shining off of whatever surface the phone is on. Can't really demonstrate that, I don't know what I was trying to, but I can't really demonstrate that at the moment. Another cool function is when you're on an application like YouTube, it just makes everything nice and easy just to pull in from the side since it's nice and curved. You don't have to worry about not hitting the edge of the screen. It just makes, well, navigating stuff like YouTube much easier. It just feels like it's designed to be that way. With Android just as a whole. The operating system, of course, has been cleaned up massively, so Samsung hasn't thrown in a lot of bloatware. You've just got the basic stuff on this. So S-Health, S-Voice, and then, of course, the rest of the stuff you can get from Galaxy Apps. So that's where you'd be able to get all the other stuff that you had available to you on the Galaxy S5, like the eye tracking, so it can track your eye to find out where you're looking on the page and scroll your page up and down. Settings, again, has been massively revamped. It's all just much cleaner, much nicer to navigate. So the phone is just an absolute joy to use in terms of how it runs. Likewise with Galaxy S6, they're both just so quick and so it's just not like a Samsung. It's a massive improvement. In terms of the camera quality, I'll be going through this on the Galaxy S6 review as well, but the camera quality is, well, absolutely brilliant in comparison to how Samsung cameras used to be. You've just got so much detail without the oversaturation that you used to get from Samsung cameras of past, like on the Galaxy S5. Like, things just used to look luminescent to me on those cameras, but you can crop in massively and still get a lovely amount of detail. You can actually zoom in a bit more on the Galaxy S5 than you can on the HTC One M9. Sorry, Galaxy S6 versus the One M9. So that's I don't know why that is. I can only presume it's something to do with the software that they're using for the cameras and how big the files are that they're capturing. But as an overall, again, 4K video is available to be recorded on this at 30 frames per second. It just looks absolutely stunning. The camera quality on this is just brilliant. Samsung's really done a fantastic job of this. In terms of overall battery life, as you can see at the moment I'm at 63%. I've been hammering this phone pretty heavily today with the Galaxy S6 and also the HTC One M9, taking photos, taking 4K video. I took this one off of charge at around about 8:30 this morning. I've been using it since 8:30 and we've got 63% left over on this one. I've also done the latest software updates for it, which came through this morning. It doesn't appear to have changed much. It all just seems just as quick as it was prior to the software updates. But as a whole, it's a much quicker phone. It's a much nicer experience, and I can't fault Samsung enough for really cleaning up their act and making this phone a much nicer piece of kit to use and a much nicer piece of kit to run on a day-to-day basis. Call quality is excellent. Loudspeaker quality, it's a bit tinny, just like on the Galaxy S6, but I've already mentioned, well, I'm going to be mentioning that in the Galaxy S6 review as well. But the call quality on the Galaxy S6 is great as well, but again, loudspeaker quality is just a bit too tinny. It's alright until you get to the final quarter on the volume scale, so up to 3/4 volume you're absolutely fine, but when you rock over to that final section on the volume, it's just not the best. So I wouldn't really advise putting it any higher than 3/4 usually, purely because it's just going to become a bit too tinny. In terms of speech recognition and voice recognition on this phone as well, again, the microphones are much improved. So Google Now is, well, much more accurate, I find. On the Galaxy S5, I was finding it was a bit iffy. I know a lot of people haven't had that issue, but for myself, I found that using Google Now on the on the Galaxy S5 was just a bit, so-so. Only worry I've really got, and the only concern I've really got with this phone is, since of course you have got nearly edge-to-edge glass, and of course a glass back on it as well, is how's it going to fare up in terms of being dropped? I mean, phones like the iPhone 4S didn't really tend to deal too well with that. I know it's a completely different type of glass on it, so Gorilla Glass 4 versus whatever was on the old iPhone 4S, much more advanced glass since then, but that's the only concern I've really got. Other than that, how are you going to protect it with a case? Because there's not really much for a case to grab onto, since you've got to keep that section of the phone free, so you can make use of the edge screen. But other than that, I'm sure the case manufacturers and Samsung will have a way to get around that, and we'll have made some cases which are just making me sound stupid at the moment, but that's the only real concern I've got on it, really. Other than that, absolutely lovely design, all glass and metal, so the phone does feel like a lovely premium phone. It does feel like you're getting what you pay for with this piece of kit. Anyway, that is the Galaxy S6 Edge. If you're wanting to know anything else about it, if there's anything I haven't mentioned in this video that you want to know about the phone, leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get right back to you as soon as I can. All the test photos and comparisons will be up on my Flickr account, just like on the HTC One M9 video. I've got quite a lot of test photos, not that it's much different, well, the camera's really not going to change between this and the Galaxy S6. I've taken a lot of test photos anyway, but as an overall, compared to the HTC One M9, it is an absolutely fantastic phone. So I've got the One M9, Galaxy S6, and of course the Galaxy S5 of last year that I've been really trying out and bashing them together really to find out which one's the best. As an overall, all phones are absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's really going to boil down to a case of which UI you're going to prefer really between these now, because the HTC One M9, absolutely fantastic phone, lovely clean UI, of course running Android 5.0 just like the Galaxy S6. Both are really quick, and well, all three of these phones are really just fantastic. I can't say enough good things about them. Anyway, that's it, guys. If you want to see the camera comparisons, well, if you want to have a look at the images that I've taken on all these phones, links to the photos will be in the description. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.